So that's what happened between two senior high schools, and the government says it's acting a number of issues coming up, but this is becoming one too many. Joe, Intercore is an exciting moment. It's supposed to unite students so that they get exposed, develop their talent in sports and all of that. But a clash like the one we just seen, did you see one student jumping and stamping on another? It looks scary. Where do we deal with this from?
You know why I'm laughing? I remember clearly in my days, and it was in Fansville, and we went to Intercore at Augustine's, and coming back to school, because you usually walk back to school, we were waylaid and stoned.
By your opposing students?
By opposing students. So, in a lot of ways, this is not
new.
It's not new. Let's put it into context. It's not new, and when you are in sporting events, can feel very unfair, and people can get very passionate about it. We have to realize that discipline in the schools seems to be at a lower level than it was in the past. Maybe it's as older people who always say that we talk about the good old days, but this time it seems like discipline has definitely deteriorated. Maybe I think it's the numbers. The numbers are larger. Because of economic hardship, the teachers and the tutors are less passionate about what they do, and because of social media, etc., which amplify violence. Right, social media has a way of amplifying violence. So when students get in, so that confluence of less discipline, less committed tutors and headmasters and everything and then the increased violence. I think that's where we are drifting to. I don't think the solution can be a one-off. It has to be multi-faceted, and it's not just a simple matter of let's introduce caning back into the schools.
It's not the way.
It's not the way. Caning is gone. I remember the last time I was caned by my assistant headmaster then.
How many decades ago?
That was a long time ago. But caning is gone. But we have to address the issue. We have to tackle the issue. We have to make the cause of violence very tough for the students. Right? And we can't treat it with, we have evidence there's video evidence of what's going to happen to these students. We must deal with them drastically in a way in which it will put some fear into the rest of them that if you go along this path, you could be in trouble. But it can't be the only solution. You've got to look at this whole issue of discipline. And discipline is in so many parts. So I tend to think, first of all, this is not strange. I was not shocked to hear it because even in the so-called good old days, there's a lot of violence, except we didn't have locally manufactured guns. It was stones, but the stones could do some
damage.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, first of all, let's not make this issue bigger than it is. It is serious, but it's also an issue of the motivation, the passion of our tutors. It's an issue of social media amplifying violence. And it's an issue of just the numbers, meaning that there's less discipline in the schools.
Thank you, Joe Jackson, with Dalex Finance. Should I come to? I think I should come to you. You are the younger.
You know why you should come to me. Uncle Joe mentioned Augustine as having attacked them. Of course, he's my big brother.
We were in Fansville. The fight between Augustines at this school
it's been there forever.
It's been there forever.
Is there social media amplified now?
I am renouncing it here that Augustines were gentlemen.
when I was, and I'm not part of your B school, but I was in Tema school. We used to fear Tematech people.
Exactly.
Because you were gentlemen. And Koforia sector.
Because you were gentlemen. We rather used to fear hooligans from
Yeah. I wouldn't even bother to respond to that.
Okay. You know, but Sandra, on a more serious note, falling standards, really falling standards. Teachers no longer can handle kids the way kids are meant to be handled because of the advent of, I don't know whether to call it civilization or globalization, where even now talking to a younger one, sometimes using gestures and shouting or screaming at them, the Gen Z will tell you you are disturbing their, you know, there's a whole lot of Western culture that we have imported here, and which seems to fester, Sandra, because at the end of the day, in the past, you recall, if you were misbehaving, it doesn't even take just your parents or your teachers.
The whole community can whip
The whole community can agree that what you've done is wrong, and they will punish you for it.
Try it now.
Try it now, and you will be in court, or social media will capture and say that you are disciplining somebody because it's not your child. Or so the standards have really fallen on discipline. Again, we are no longer able to even teach kids about morality, the advent of what is right and what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is condemnable. And so anything sort of goes. This has, however, been amplified by social media. I bet these incidents that we've captured or are seeing on traditional media now would have gone without a word, if not somebody capturing and then resharing or posting. Yes. So social media now amplifies a lot of the things that we have done or are still doing. But I do think that before, I mean, the young ones get into schools, we used to have this counseling units in schools that would probably look at some of student behavior, where a teacher felt this person is probably a bit too violent, a bit too aggressive, a bit nonchalant, a bit, you know. They referred some of these students based on their traits, you know, for counseling. There were effective counseling units. I don't know how functional they are today. I don't know who is telling who what to do, what not to do. But it looks as though everything goes. So you only need to send your child to school, vacation, you pick them up. The kind of vices they are learning, it's not only the hooliganism, right? Not long ago, LGBTQ+, you know. There are habits that if these kids pick very early on, it's difficult to correct them once they get to, you know, a later stage. In psychology, there's a term where you are supposed to progress from one level of development or phase of development to another. And a child is supposed to learn that, okay, when I'm a baby, I can punch Sandra. Of course, your punch is not even much. But as you grow, violence is not the way, because when you punch, you are inflicting pain or you are causing damage, and it's not right. If we don't find a way to inculcate in the younger ones, Sandra, I fear for our future, our generation, because then the time comes, the child now looks at the parent like you are the problem, right? When they finish bullying themselves in school, they will take it to the homes and now, you know, unleash mayhem even on their parents, who probably did not stick to what both Islam and Christianity doctrines teach. It says, spare the rod, you spoil the child. We are saying that we do not want to go back to the rod. If you don't want to go back to the rod, then effective counseling should be the way. a child should see by the expression of parents or the community that, look, stamping on your fellow, the head, it's just not right. When you come back, even after doing this, your own mates should be able to condemn you and say, no.
But they celebrate you.
They celebrate you.
Carry your shoulder high.
So it means that the vices is rather the norm. We accept the vices because sometimes when I was younger, those who smoke, we used to call them spliff, smoky, blah, blah. Just so they are told it's not a good thing, right? These days, it's like, well, it's a hard guy. They give you all kinds of names. And if we don't get to a point of consciousness, we'll really regret this in a few years to come, because in the West, a child can pick a gun and go and misbehave, mass shooting. A teenager can go and do all kinds of things, right? Because they have allowed it. But in our subculture, where my child can enter your home, right? Play with your kids freely, even eat from your home. I am expected to have a certain standard of discipline so that my child doesn't enter your home and instead of extending respect to you, is disrespecting you altogether in your own home. So I would wish that Ghana Education Service, the first years when they come, right? In as much as pi r is important, in as much as find X, and we've never found X anyway all these years, is important. You should also be able to find them a moral compass.
Is it not too late?
Son, I don't think so. You see, if the society decides to make a conscious effort at it, first year, your seniors are told not to start this nonsense of bullying, and that if a senior should bully, please report. In our time, the senior bullies you, and you would dare not, open your mouth to say a thing because the bullying will get worse. We should create that environment that says, look, when you come in, the school is there to mold a character, is there to impart knowledge onto you. If you come in and people are slapping you here and there, it is a bad thing, it is wrong. The school, the environment does not accept it. If a senior is stamping on your neck or your head, it is a wrong thing, report it. If you report, the senior should be invited. Disciplinary action should be taken. If the environment, the school community frowns on the things that you saw in the videos, right from the first year, Sanda, give it a maximum 3 to 5 years. The younger ones that come up will not come and meet seniors who think it is me. I went to first year, Sanda, the first day, the way they beat me.
So when you also become senior,
when I become senior, I feel it's a tradition, but we can't break away from that tradition.
It has to end somewhere.
Where in Japan, Sanda, look at it. Japan makes a conscious effort of indoctrinating their younger ones to even service. So they come, they can pick brooms, they can go, they sweep. They do things on their own that tells you these are human beings, not animals. We have entertained that culture, subculture of bullying, misbehavior, and we think that is a norm. We should depart, and GES should show us the way. Impart into these young ones when they come for first year that this is wrong, this is frowned upon, this is not right, you cannot do this, you should not probably dress in a certain way, speak in a certain way. And when the culture becomes established, Sanda, your own mates will tell you, why do you go punching somebody in the face? It's wrong.
Okay. Prof, I'll come to you, but I want to hear from my colleagues on Zoom, your colleagues on Zoom, so that I'll give you the last word, since you are in studio, and I know you would understand. Richard Hagba, is it that when you brought free SHS, you also stopped teachers from doing anything? You were preventing headmasters and teachers from taking action against anybody. That's why indiscipline is growing in the schools. Richard, are you there? Richard, are you there?
Oh, yeah. You're referring to me?
Yes, I was referring to.
Omar, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm asking if the indiscipline in the senior high schools, where should we put the blame and how do we deal with it?
You know where to put the blame. Don't let me say it.
Well, tell me. I want to know. I really want to know. I genuinely don't know.
Well, I think On this one, I want to hear where you want to put it first.
I want to put it on when you brought free SHS and you were not allowing headmasters to function. You were locking all headmasters didn't have the mouth to talk. Teachers could not engage in any disciplinary action. Maybe that's why. Or
maybe open the line. Let's see if the headmasters will agree with you.
Where do you put the blame? I've given you mine. Give you yours.
I think it's a national problem. Okay. You go to any office in our country, there is this seniorism, there's this I'm older than you kind of thing that runs across our society. You see a police officer. Yes. You see a police officer on the street, instead of understanding that he's here to do a certain work which is regulated and it is designed to facilitate the well-being of society, he's bossing it over everybody. So it's a mindset that has taken hold. And it starts, I mean, largely from school, and we grow with it. Don't you know? I mean, it's some aspect of it is cultural, because where our culture is very hierarchical in nature, so these kinds of things are festered in our, our daily lives till this point. And so it's a situation that is not only peculiar to the schools, but we must look at ourselves, our culture, and how we have enabled it to, continue over the years, where abuse is accepted once it's coming from somebody superior, somebody higher, and that is really what is reflecting all across society. And so I think it's a situation that we must not look at narrowly and say the schools are the problem, but it's a society that is the problem. We have embraced this kind of thing. And I don't think it's okay to continue. We must do a total renewal of values, including trying to find a way to get our students to understand boundaries and respect each other. Treat people on the basis of what they bring to the table, and not just because you are here before them or you are their senior. Yesterday, in fact, incidentally, having a conversation about this with a teacher trainee who was narrating their experience with a constraint that you can't punish, and was saying that really the punishment with caning and all of that does not change anybody based on the training that she's having, and that it is merely a deterrence. But then taking it away entirely create a certain picture of impunity for students, and they feel that it's proper to have it as a way of deterring people. And giving the example of her own experience in high school, saying that, the seniors that they came to meet were very brutal. The ones in second year, when they came in first year, the ones in third year, when they came, those two batches of seniors were very brutal, were very abusive, but then their results were bad. Their results were bad. Back to back, their results were bad compared to their results when some event happened very early on, when they were in Form 2 going to Form 3, and the teachers punished all of them. They got their juniors to run, ladies to run in their skirts. To get to their dormitory within a certain period of time, and people were tumbling over, some got injured and all that. And so the teachers came and punished all of them, even those of them who were not part of the issue in the order were all punished. And as a result of that, their badge actually reformed, and they were nicer, they were friendlier to their juniors. And perhaps it's not coincidence, or perhaps it's coincidence, but their results were much better than the two group of seniors who were very brutal. The point I'm trying to make is that it doesn't really add value to what is it that we go to school to do, and so we should find a way to deal with it comprehensively. Parent-teacher associations are part of this. They, in fact, all these things about corporal punishment that was completely ousted in our schools, I think parent-teacher associations play a key role, and there must be a stakeholder conversation about how we bring discipline back into our schools.
Okay.
But I maintain, Omar, in concluding, that this is a societal problem, and not a school problem in isolation. So we should look at it broadly and deal with it so that we can enhance output in our society.
Thank you so much, Richard Ahiak. But let me hear from Franklin Kojo. Come in studio, finish it, Prof. Franklin.
Hi. This indiscipline. I don't know what to say, but it looks to me that I don't know whether it's the numbers, but anyway, there's been indiscipline since Adam, right, in schools. Maybe we are not being very effective at dealing with this matter enough. I don't really understand why young people decide to take the law into their own hands and do the things they do. When you were in school, you wouldn't even think of something like that, So I don't know whether to describe it as a parent and.
Are you sure when you were in school this was not happening? Maybe it was happening. It's just that it wasn't caught on camera.
Oh no! You mean in terms of vandalizing stuff?
Yeah. And fighting other schools.
Well, occasionally. I remember one.
You went to a Catholic secondary school, right?
I did. Both sixth form and O level.
Which one?
Pope John's for sixth form, St. Mary's for Little B for 1 to 5. But interestingly, because I recall that in St. Mary's, occasionally we got angry with one or two other schools, but it never led to any fisticuffs. I don't think so.
Whenever you are angry, you were reciting the rosary, so you were at peace.
We yell and then rain curses and all of that, but never really went to that part. And I think in Pope John's, I don't think we even came close. There was Kofodia Sector, which was one of the schools that we feared a lot because they were older, they were bigger. But they were never really, I don't recall we had any, I don't recall sixth form, I don't even recall we went into any festival. But rather enjoying ourselves.
Should we bring the cane back, Franklin, quickly before I let you go?
So the cane, yeah, sometimes good though, because there are some people behave like goats. So it's important to
If your child returns from secondary school and says that he was lashed or she was lashed, you wouldn't have a problem with it by a teacher?
The first question is, what did you do?
Okay.
But when you were in St. Mary's, they will lash you. You hold the pillar. The pillar was this coconut tree. You hold it. They'll give you some six like you straighten your head. And I think maybe we have decided that this time around there's too much liberty and freedom. People may take it further, but I think if we spare the rod, we spare the child sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Prof. You also went to school in the Eastern region.
Yeah, he's my senior.
So
I went to Pope John.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Pojoba.
I'm a Pojoba, and it's. I think the reality is that this phenomenon of indiscipline, hooliganism, and all of that is not new. It's an age-old practice, but it has been accentuated by social media. That's period. And the numbers is also a game because you see, I think the sudden increase in numbers and the filtering mechanisms that results had has made it now generalized. Because in the past, there were schools of certain categories that were known to have this violence. And certain schools where, you needed certain grades to be able to gain admission to, the extent of this violence was minimal. So it's now become cancerous because everybody has access to every kind of school. So what was contained in a few schools and was struggled and being managed, where you could see only this violence, when those schools meet other schools. In every region, you will know some of the schools that everybody knew that they were known for violence. And when you go for intercore and you meet them, you are careful. I used to be a school prefect. Before we leave school, Pope John, for our games, the priest will talk to us. I will address the students that, look, when you meet students from this school, that school, don't have any exchanges with them. We are gentlemen and all of that. So that kind of thing was there. But now it's degenerated like a malignant lesion that has spread into every school. And the cause of that is partly because of how we have rolled out the free SHS.
Really?
Because everybody, gains access.
That's what you are blaming it on.
No, I'm just saying that. Don't take me out of context. But let's face it, it's a national problem.
discipline is a problem in the country. And discipline in secondary schools has been there. Indiscipline has been there for years. The fundamental change now is that almost every other school is struggling to contain the issue of discipline because of the fact that we have mixed up everything. And, you know, it's not bad. Free SHS as a policy is not bad. I support it. It's just that I think the manner in which it was implemented is a challenge. I don't want to go there.
How should we solve the issue of indiscipline? Should we stop free SHS?
No, not at all. So my government is actually trying to advance free SHS because getting the entire population educated also plays a role. Because
so what do we do to end this?
So to end this, two fundamental things. One, there is a mismatch where we have adopted Western lifestyle, but the moral discipline and mindset needed for that lifestyle have lagged behind. So when you go to countries where they are living this lifestyle, where their psychological health, their mental health is prime, you can't beat a child because when you beat them, you are disturbing their psychology. Those children have been also oriented in a way that they are honest, they are truthful, they are respectful. So you can go to a place, no one is guarding anybody, but everybody is behaving according to the law. That aspect of it has lagged behind, and we need to quickly bring that up. So parents must play a role at home. The society must come back. We must preach certain values into the children before they get to SHS. Then the guidance and counseling units are still active, but they must be more proactive and do preventive counseling. Knowing the kind of students coming into a school now, they must up their game. You have to quickly stratify the students that you receive and do a preventive counseling. Don't wait for incidents to happen before you start. I know I have seen guidance and counseling directors of the secondary schools have their meeting. Every secondary school has a guidance and counseling unit. Those units should be resourced. They should be proactive. They should stratify students, profile them based on the home they are coming from, the type of JSS they have come from. How can we fit them into? Every school should be known for a particular culture and force the students to imbibe that culture before they leave the school.
So we shouldn't ban interco?
No, that's not the way, because there are benefits of interco. But let's make sure that our students are well behaved before they go to interco. And before they leave your campus for interco, have some sessions with them, talk to them, let them know the name of the school is at stake. In fact, when I was in secondary school, when we are going for programs in other school, we literally inspected what guys wear before they enter the bus, because we held our school's name in such a high esteem.
We don't want any.
We don't want you to go. We look to the extent of your shoes. I was school prefect with Kojo Opon Kuma in the same secondary school, and where that was how the level of discipline we had on the student, because we were so careful about the image of our school. They were the gentlemen, the Pope school, the Saint school, so we don't want anything to turn it. That thing must be imbibed in the student.
True.
That is the call I will make, but parents must take up the responsibility as well. If we don't do it early,
thank you,
and they get there, it's too late.
Thank you so much, Prof. Let me bring the messages from our viewers before we go. Good morning. The president yesterday was just on point, dealt with every sector of our economy decisively, devoid of the usual jargon the MPP used to swindle Ghanaians with. That's Jones Aduboy Inla. This one says, the cocoa issue, the MPP communicators are really feeding on it with alacrity, thinking it will lead them to win 2028 general election. That's from Papa Bisiu in Spintex. The current managers of the economy should be commended. Let Richard know that it is not everything you do propaganda with. Richard should tell us what particular intervention they did as a government in office for the cocoa farmers. That's from Sami in Ho. This one says, I was so happy yesterday watching the State of the Nation address. What I deduced from both government and opposition is that they are both fighting hard for the welfare of the ordinary Ghanaian. That's Joseph Hagan. Other messages that have come through, you can also send your messages. That's all we can read for now. And that's how we end today's edition of The Big Issue. My guest in studio today, Professor Titus Bayo, is NDC Member of Parliament. We're waiting to see if the reshuffle happens, whether they'll give him a position. So we are praying that they'll give him.
He deserves one.
The people of Lambusie, President Mahama, the people of Lambusie deserve, to be rewarded. Please give their MP a position. Duncan Amwa, his Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. We are waiting to see Mahama reshuffle CEOs, whether he'll send him to...
No, leave me there. Leave me there.
You don't want to go ahead any of them.
Leave me there. I don't want to head.
You don't want to head any.
No, leave me.
Don't say you don't want to. You leave me to do my thing. Because the consumers want to be represented.